Hello, everyone. Good morning and good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for today's special event. My name is Niraj Periwal. I'm the Product Marketing Manager here at eFolder. Welcome to our webinar, Looking Ahead to Anchor in 2016. Today, you're going to get a special sneak peek at the future of eFolder Anchor, our file sync and share solution designed for deployment by MSPs and VARs. Today, we are joined by Kevin Hoffman, eFolder CEO and CTO, Pierre Tapia, our VP of Product, and Matt Dugan, the Product Manager for Anchor. So before I go into today's agenda, let's cover a few housekeeping items. Today's webinar will be recorded. The recorded version of the webinar will be sent to everyone attending, and it will also be uploaded to our YouTube channel. We're also going to send the slides out to those who would like it. Now, looking into today's agenda, first we're going to introduce our staff. Again, we're going to introduce Kevin, Pierre, and Matt. We're then going to have Kevin go over the future of business productivity. Pierre and Matt will then talk about what the Anchor team accomplished this year in 2015, and then cover what to look for ahead in 2016. The majority of the webinar today will be doing a session between all of you who are attending and Kevin, Pierre, and Matt. So hopefully you have some questions ready, and we should have a very fruitful discussion today. So let's go ahead and get started with some introductions. First off, we have Kevin Hoffman, our CEO and CTO. And Kevin, the floor is all yours now for you to tell the audience about yourself.
Great, and hey Niraj, I think you need to share out your screen there. I'm not sure if we're seeing, I don't see the slides right now. But thanks everyone for joining. I'm Kevin. I'm one of the co-founders of eFolder and currently CEO, CTO. Happy to be here and share some of the really exciting things we've had under wraps for a while, and happy to get your feedback.
Great. And Pierre, if you could introduce yourself to the audience.
Hi there, everyone. Glad to be here. I'm Pierre Tapia. I run the product management team for eFolder. I have been with eFolder for about 2.5 years, and I was one of the co-founders of the Anchor product line. So very glad to be here, looking forward to the future.
And finally, we have Matt Dugan, the Anchor product manager. Matt, you want to tell about yourself to the audience?
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. As Niraj said, I'm Matt Dugan, Anchor's product manager. I've been working with eFolder for several years now on the backup disaster recovery side, and now I'm employed by eFolder to run the product management for Anchor. So thanks for having me here.
Great. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the future of business productivity as eFolder sees it. And to present this information to you, we have Kevin Hoffman, our CEO and CTO. Kevin, you have the floor.
Okay, great. Hey, everyone. So yeah, we've been looking at the themes, why are we doing what we're doing as a company? What are partners telling us their needs are? And how can we best serve them? And how does this fit in with Anchor strategy? So we see two really key trends transforming IT right now in the industry. So there's the explosion of data growth. Everyone sees it. Storage devices locally are getting larger, and concurrently data is getting more complex. So you have data living in more places than it ever has, and in more formats. In the cloud, on premises, NAS devices, local storage, structured data, object storage, etc. And it's making your job tough as MSPs, trying to make sure that you've got data protection, business continuity for all of the data that's in these different forms. And then we all face legal and regulatory compliance, laws being passed that require the retention and in some cases even business continuity for businesses, even despite these other two trends. And so there's a couple of things eFolder's done over the past year or two to help with these explosive data growth. We've introduced storage plans on our BDR, for example, that give you essentially unlimited cloud storage for a fixed fee per agent per month, 2 terabytes per protected server per month. For example, and to solve the data complexity problem, we've been launching solutions that enable you to protect business-critical data wherever it lives in these new systems that contain more and more business data, for example. Legal and regulatory compliance. We've been investing in this for several years. We were one of the first to lead with HIPAA compliance, and we're currently working on our Cloud Security Alliance certification. So on the other hand, you also have workforce trends. So the way that professionals, information workers are working is changing. So you have enterprise class requirements that have become commonplace in terms of expectations on business continuity or security. The needs have gotten a lot more sophisticated than it used to be, and MSPs have been stepping up to the plate and evolving to deliver these ever more complex requirements to their clients effectively. And meanwhile, you've also been fighting the trend or empowering the trend with mobility and bring your own device, managing the chaos even with people computing on the devices they want to compute with. And then, of course, the adoption of SaaS applications, Office 365 being the most common in this market. But, of course, you've just got your average SMB business right now. I saw one survey that said they use about 8 SaaS applications, and that number is only expected to double for SMBs in the next 2 years. And for enterprises, it's a far worse problem already. So these are some unstoppable trends that we're all looking at together. So if we look at the needs, the themes that this drives for us, it's protecting data everywhere that it lives, keeping businesses running no matter what happens, and keeping people productive wherever they are, while retaining that security, control, and visibility, and compliance that you need to be a business-grade solution and protect your clients. So empower them to work effectively and get out of their way while following security and compliance requirements. So this drives our 3 product themes here. We've got data protection, business continuity, and mobile productivity. And eFolder has launched a comprehensive set of solutions over the years. So if we look next here, Niraj, originally we launched our file-level backup product in 2005, protecting file-level data wherever it lives, local storage or NAS storage, any addressable Windows file system or Linux file system, to protect all that kind of data. Next we launched BDR, business continuity, for protecting servers, workstations, and even laptops with near real-time continuity on site and in the cloud, providing both data protection and long-term archival of recovery points, as well as that near-instant virtualization on-site and off-site. And of course, that we acquired Anchor 2 years ago, and it fits very nicely into our vision of both protecting and empowering business productivity. So it's not enough that you're protecting the on-premises data and infrastructure. Data is now living in just so many places, and as an MSP, you need to empower your users to work the way they want to work, but having that control and visibility that you need to have that proactive service, as well as retain that security and compliance requirements for your client. And Cloud Finder, of course, protects SaaS application data. We're focusing on the core SaaS applications first, which is where most of the SMB business data still lives, like Office 365 or Google Apps, providing instant search and archiving for that data set, point in time store. So, how does this all fit into Anchor? So Anchor, we saw the potential for Anchor to be a platform for collaboration, for essentially becoming the smart cloud file system for your data, to be this control plane for your data, enabling mobility, balanced with security and collaboration, both inside and outside of companies, in an MSP-friendly fashion. And our partner base has been very patient with us as we worked to capture the potential of this product. Anchor was originally very focused on local file sync features, and so had a robust feature set for just syncing data with heavy endpoints, Windows, Mac, etc. And so File server enablement, for example, was a fairly unique feature for quite a while, and just helping partners replace traditional file servers or empower traditional file servers to be cloud enabled and make that data mobile. But Anchor, transparently, was pretty weak compared to other products on the collaboration side. And so, we've been heavily investing in that to bring that up to speed so that it's a combined data virtualization, synchronization, and collaboration platform all together. And what we're excited to show you today is some pieces that pretty much get us there and deliver world-class collaboration functionality on the platform. We've just got a lot of enhancements to actually show you today that we think are game changers for the product and for your clients. And so, very excited to hear your feedback. Okay, so take it away, Matt or Pierre.
Sure. So some of the major features that we delivered in Anchor in 2015, year in review, we've got the web preview, which includes mobile as well. This is a fully robust viewing of any type of content. We support 50+ file formats. Anything that you can name, we can more or less display it in our web or on mobile devices. This helps bridge that gap of anytime access anywhere so that you can access and identify your content immediately without requiring you to download it and store it locally. Some of the other major features include things like LAN sync, which helps reduce total true cost of ownership and onboarding for some of those locations that require pay-per-use bandwidth. We've got user groups that save a lot of administrator time in aggregating users together and allocating permissions and access over content and subscriptions to team shares. We've got localization support. We built this localization engine so that we can translate to different languages based on partner needs. And a big one also is the mobile photo and video backup. This was hugely requested, and we understand the value. Many of our clients are off-site on remote, and they're taking pictures for insurance claims and things like that. And we also deliver the ConnectWise billing integration, which allows you to manage all of your billing with Anchor through the ConnectWise tool. That further improves upon the ticketing integration that we developed for that TSA. And lastly here on some of the major features in 2015, we delivered API version 2, which unlocks a wealth of new features and improvements. We're able to release more and more functionality of our product every day. And this allows us to take advantage of even better security methods, for example, OAuth or OAuth 2. So some of the additional features that we released in 2015 that may not have been in the spotlight, but were definitely there and readily apparent and available. Drag and drop files and folders on the web so that you can rearrange instead of having to right-click and move and specify through traversing your directory structure. You can just simply drag and drop files into folders right there on the web user interface. Much more user-intuitive feature there. We've got password expiration policies, two-factor authentication across all clients, some of those security features, custom API session token expiration, another security feature, and then collision events logged in Windows event logs. So we're pushing the event IDs of when a collision happens and a collision is resolved. We push those to the Windows event logs so that you have an RMM tool or a PSA tool that's automatically monitoring those logs. You can generate triggers for internal IT administrator tickets to double check on the collision and the resolution, things like that. So what we're looking ahead with Anchor in 2016. We've got collaborative document editing. This is something that I'm going to be demoing for you all today. I can already sense your jaws dropping. Especially because we just nailed down that web preview tool. So this helps bridge that gap for full collaboration in the web. We've also got selective sync and file and folder permissions. So with collaborative document editing, you can edit documents with your team on any device in real time. And any device also includes mobile. That's not just on laptops or tablets. It's web-based document editing, which supports document presentations and spreadsheets. We'll show you a little demo of all of these. I've got them opened up in my web browser now. And then we can also collaborate as a team in real time. You can show comments and things like that where people are chatting and communicating in a real-time fashion. There's also support for all Microsoft Office file formats.
Yeah, so for those who are familiar with other online document editing tools, this will be a very welcome feature, and the support for the Office formats that you're commonly used to using is fantastic. We've done tests on a variety of different content types in Word documents and in spreadsheets, and I think you'll find that the support is pretty robust.
Yeah, so just to be clear, it's Word, Excel, and PowerPoint.
Okay, Matt, so I'm going to let you be the presenter here so you can show your screen.
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready.
I am ready.
Awesome.
Can I get a confirmation that it's showing?
I see it now.
Great, thank you.
Yep, we've got it.
Yeah, we see this is the test slide deck.
So here we just have a test slide deck. Obviously, took a couple slides here from our current presentation. We just went over some collaborative document editing. So as you can see, I can navigate through slides here. I can go ahead and update some text.
Yeah, so don't be fooled, you're not looking at PowerPoint. This is the HTML5 document editor inside of the Anchor web interface.
Yeah, that's how good it looks.
And, we can do all sorts of things as far as manipulating the text and stuff here, but that's not really what's impressive. Let's go ahead and let's drag. Let's insert maybe a picture. Let's see what we've got here on my desktop. Let's drop the Anchor logo in here somewhere where we can make this pretty. It's going to take a second to actually embed this image here, and then it should be good. There we go. So you can go ahead and resize this. Go ahead, Kevin.
Oh, go ahead. Yep.
Just saying that you can, in real time, you can manipulate anything more or less on this slide. And I could go ahead and copy this, and I could slap it a couple times over here. Keep in mind, all of this is happening in the web. So when you're taking graphics and importing them in the web, it takes a while. However, we're doing it in real time very quickly.
So yeah, this supports embedded charts, including PowerPoint documents that have embedded Excel documents with graphs and things. So it's fairly robust in the capabilities of the product, supporting the full common feature set of PowerPoint.
Great. So I'm going to now just navigate to a Word doc. So here we have Word, and let's do something a little bit different here. What do we want? Changing the format over here. We can insert symbols, whatever we want. Let's see. I wanted to drag in. You can insert a text box. You can move this wherever you want. I can show that we can actually bullet some content down here. And then in real time, if I wanted to switch and break lines here and make new bullets, I can. Let's say we need to highlight this introduction. There it is. And I want to well, we can hyperlink, etc. And there's a graphic display.
So it supports Office theming and styling, just like you'd expect in Word and the Format Painter. Other common features, equation editor, and things like that. So it's also, again, our goal has been to have a high fidelity experience with multi-user, actually multi-user editing online with automatic document saving and versioning back to the Anchor system.
And Matt, we have a couple questions coming in asking about collaboration. Can 2 or more people collaborate at the same time using this editor?
That's correct. 2 or more can collaborate at the same time to edit. Absolutely. We are not demoing that right now, unfortunately. However, there is a comment section where people can chat with one another while collaboratively editing on this content, and it'll display in real time. So if I have my cursor here, Niraj has his cursor on, let's say down here editing, and then maybe Kevin or Pierre's editing over here, we'll be able to see on the exact same screen in real time where people are and where our collaborators are actually editing and contributing to our content.
So the way concurrency currently works today is it does paragraph level locking so that different users can edit different paragraphs at the same time. That will be the minimum viable product that we launch in V1. Beyond that, we're looking at cursor level locking. But we found that paragraph level locking is quite functional for collaborative editing, for Word documents, and Excel documents is something similar with Sellable.
Any more question on the Word or PowerPoint before we transition over to Excel?
Yeah, I've got a great question here from Wells. He asks, with Office 365 in the online editor, the advanced formatting of a Word document is often stripped when you try to upload it to the online collaboration tool. And so he's asking if the Word editor here with Anchor will preserve all the rich formatting of an existing document.
Yes, and the answer to the question is, go ahead, Kevin.
We've tried to build a solution here that provides very high fidelity, so tables, word art, even curved word art, equation editor, the image layouts and text wrapping features, the styling, the theming, these are all quite good. And so if you've got a document that Office 365 is having trouble with, we'd love to see that document if you're able to share it so we can see what it looks like together on this platform today and make any refinements needed. But yeah, we find that it's already quite a high level of fidelity with what you can do with this, versus the desktop versions of Office. So yeah, let's send us your feedback. Hoffman@eFolder.net. We'll connect and figure it out.
So Matt, this is fantastic. Do you want to show maybe another application?
Absolutely. So here we have a sample Excel worksheet. And these are just some random numbers that are in an actual chart and displayed here. Go ahead and just scroll down a little bit, and I'll show you kind of what happens. If you take a look in real time, this is how fast it can happen. I'm going to go ahead and modify this one. And as I keep modifying, take a look at that chart and just see how random numbers continue to populate so quickly, just as fast as if you were to have the native application you're updating content.
So Matt, why don't you try taking that fill bar, the little box in the corner, and filling it down, get a whole row changing all at once?
Yeah, sure. These are formulas, though, so.
Right. It'll just change, re-randomize everything, right? So.
Let's see.
Never mind. I was just referring to the fill bar, but never mind.
There we go.
Yeah.
Right, so.
Yeah. Yeah, so it supports you know, the linked charts, almost all Excel formulas. You know, that's getting better every day. And again, our focus here has been a high fidelity experience compared to Microsoft Excel. Well, good. Well, we should probably move on. There's a lot of exciting stuff to cover yet. This is just one of 3 things coming. So let's, you know,
Absolutely.
a lot more to show. But
Niraj, would you like to pull it back over to the presentation?
Yep, absolutely. Just give me a second here, and I will show my screen again. All right. Hopefully everyone is able to see my screen.
yep, sure can.
I got it now. We're at the selective sync slide.
Yes, we
Pierre,
are.
would you like to speak to these?
Hey, Pierre, you with us?
Sorry, guys, I was on mute. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the vision for selective sync has been one of the most long requested features we've had. And, you know, we get a lot of requests for this feature. But the idea is that you may not need to sync everything to every computer. And so with selective sync's capability, we basically architected the technology that will allow you to save space on your computer by selectively choosing the folders that you would like to be available locally. And so this will basically, we've developed a model that makes it very fast for this type of change to happen. It'll allow you to edit your selectively synced folders locally. There will be policy-based management of this in certain cases as well. And it's one of those features that we know partners have wanted, because as devices get smaller, there's less and less, and there's more and more corporate data, you know, less and less of that can be synced to local devices. So,
I mean, what we heard was that, you know, partners really wanted permissions, and they really wanted selective sync, and selective sync is a requirement for proper permissions, because if you have certain data sets that's not allowed by permissions to sync down locally, that requires a selective sync mechanism as well. And I just want to speak briefly, you know, partners may ask, you know, this sounds like a pretty simple feature. Why did it take Anchor so long to deliver it? And the answer is we wanted the user experience to be truly exceptional when it comes to selective sync. And if you implement this in the most obvious fashion, there are edge cases where the user experience can be quite difficult. So, for example, imagine that with selective sync, you haven't been subscribing to certain folders, and then you check off a very large folder. You know, that could take quite a long time to download all of the data and what you're now choosing to sync down to your device. Meanwhile, you wouldn't have gotten any updates or uploads while it brought that agent back up to speed with its synced state based on the original Anchor synchronization algorithm. So we've actually re-engineered the method by which Anchor is synchronizing data locally on the agents. So not only are we delivering selective sync, but we're delivering a brand new, much faster sync experience where all metadata is synced almost instantly. So folder creates, moves, adds, renames, changes of files and folders, it all happens instantly. And then the data synchronizes on multiple background threads, you know, to keep small files always up to date, and meanwhile it's also working on large files, and or, you know, updating your local computer to reflect your desired selective sync state. So we felt like we had to do it right. Partners had waited long enough, and we wanted to get this done so that it would be a truly exceptional experience out of the box. So we appreciate your patience, but we're very excited to show you a video now of selective sync in an Anchor agent working. It's in QA right now.
So for clarity, this video doesn't include any audio in the video, but you know, Kevin or Pierre or Matt, you're more than welcome to contribute.
Yeah, I mean, essentially you can see here, you know, you see the agent GUI on the left, you see the Explorer on the right. and we're editing the sync state on the left, the selective sync state, and you can see that the changes, as soon as you hit OK, are immediately applied very quickly with all the files and folders taking effect. So, he's saying we want the San Diego folder with none of the subfolders inside of it, for example. And so you can see that the sync state changes happen very quickly here. These are smaller file sets, but we've also been testing with much larger file sets, hundreds of thousands of files, for example. And this new style synchronization algorithm that we built works very, very nicely and will enable us to deliver some of the other requests that you've asked for in the future, like, hey, if I know that I really want this file or folder to come down next, can I give the user the ability to request that to be prioritized to sync down next or whatever? And so this new algorithm way of doing things allows us to deliver that. So this is really close to being delivered, as you can see, and we're excited to deliver this very soon as it comes out of QA. Well, good. Well, let's move on here.
Sure.
So, Pierre, you want to take this one?
Sure thing. So we know that this is also one of the top requested features that partners have been asking for, the ability to have granular permissions for files and folders. And this is going to allow you to restrict the access over files and folders, restrict it for editing, restrict it for sharing, and you'll be able to restrict this access by users or groups. So there will be role-based restrictions to make this easy for you. You could label a person or a group an editor, for example, and they might have a limited set of privileges that they can exercise over a file or folder that they have access to. And we've made sure, Kevin's mentioned the investment in the architecture is so important. You have to design that system well in order to ensure its long-term value and its longevity. And so we've modeled the file and folder permissions after the NTFS permission set, the ACLs there that are you're used to already manipulating, so that we can also build tighter and tighter integration between our own permission model and the permission models that exist on your own file systems. Of course, it'll be flexible enough to allow for hierarchical inheritance and overrides, where you might have access to a top-level folder, but not access to a subfolder within it, and then exclusive access to a file, even a layer deeper than that. So it's going to be a very robust permission system. And just an example of how this might manifest. Let's say you have a marketing team where the interns have limited access to the budgets in the financial spreadsheet, and the finance team has access to everything except the financial spreadsheet, but the VP of marketing has global access. So you can see how a group restriction might work at this level, or individual levels access might be defined.
So this is just an example of the current set of privileges that we have modeled in this permissions model. NTFS is a very interesting file system with a very flexible permissions model. It even supports deny ACL entries that you cannot override or eliminate through inheritance and other edge case flags. And so we built a permissions model that can accommodate all of this and then fit it simply into the context of a collaborative system that makes it easy for users to choose the level of access they want to give to different users or groups. And so it'll be more of a role-based selection model for choosing, and then there'll be a mapping from roles onto these individual permissions. But as you can see, you'll be able to give, for example, guest users view-only access or maybe print access. With the HTML5 viewing technology that we've delivered, with view-only access, we're in the position to deliver automatic watermarking as well, so that somebody who has view-only rights, and tries to screenshot that will have watermarks embedded in that that are hard to eliminate. So, this combination of features takes anchor, from the feature set of a rich data synchronization solution. Much closer to a fully fledged collaboration platform, and so we're excited to to deliver this to partners. As you can see, we've got collaborative document editing and selective sync that are just about ready to come out the door, and then the granular permissions model is under active development right now. So it goes back to eFolder's vision. We are the unified platform for protecting and empowering business productivity. We're unique in the channel, the only vendor who's targeting these three needs to this level of degree, and so we're excited as we're delivering innovation on each of these points to help you not only survive the coming IT transformation, but to thrive from it. And as our coming theme is in 2016, partner success comes first at eFolder, and so we're thankful to have you, our partners, and we'll open it up for Q&A now, and happy to discuss anything that's on your mind here. Right, and if you haven't been using Anchor, we're now giving away, for your own internal use, NFR, not for resale accounts. You can sign up right now at this link. If you already have a paying Anchor account and you haven't got your free NFR licenses added to your account, you're welcome to do that. Just contact your account manager. And so, yeah, there's no reason for you not to start using Anchor today for free to run your own business securely at no cost to you, any qualified MSP.
Great. So let's open up the floor to questions. We've got a lot of great questions coming in. Let me just go through our questions log here. One question from Jeff. He asks, will these new features roll out to SaaS partners first, similar to Web Preview, or will they be available to all partners at the same time?
That's correct. Yeah, SaaS will come first. There's a lot of additional technology components that have to be integrated into a very tight deployment process. The private cloud support for HTML5 viewing is coming soon. We know that partners want both the model where you're leveraging our cloud to render data securely into HTML5, or where you're doing the processing all locally yourself. And it'll be a very similar set of choices with collaborative document editing. So, yeah, that should come a little bit behind the SaaS deployment, but not too far behind.
Yep. And speaking of, the order of features, we've got a lot of questions about, is there any kind of timeline for these features that we talked about today to roll out? Do we, what kind of general timeline is there for these features?
Yeah, I mean, I was joking with the developers that it's a race between, document editing and selective sync, and which piece of the dev team gets it out first gets the new PlayStation. So, we're having a little fun trying to figure out which of these two is going to be ready first. But as you can see, they're both pretty much fully baked and going through quality and scale testing and regression testing and so forth. So, we're getting pretty close there. So it's those two first. We don't know for sure the order, and then the third one, granular permissions, will come after that. So the pace of innovation you can see is increasing. Based on where these are, the two features we've demoed for you today, I think we're confident those would come out in Q1. Pierre is probably going to kill me afterwards for saying that, but yeah, we're pretty much ready to deliver those. Yeah. And,
2 PlayStations.
That's right. Yeah, and granular permissions, I'm personally working with the dev team each week, making sure we make really good progress there. So all I can say is we've been working development efforts on granular permissions for a while already, and we have a whole pipeline built of innovations coming, which we've shown you today, things that we haven't shown you that are also in the pipeline. So the speed of innovation you should see pick up quite a bit. And
great. Here's another question from Daryl. He says, any plans or ability to inherit Active Directory permissions?
So that'll be a V2 of the granular permission support. So we built the permissions model to mirror NTFS for a reason. So here's how we see this coming out is, first thing is we get the granular permissions model out where people can use the web interface to edit those permissions, assign owners, the owner permission, and then all of the other permissions. The next step is to get 80 group sync. So right now we do 80 user sync, and 80 group sync would sync all of the Active Directory groups and their group membership from AD, sync all of the SIDs. And once you have that in place, you are finally in a position where you can read all of those NTFS ACLs and map them automatically to anchor permissions. If you've got file server enablement. So we envision that being applicable for the file server enablement deployment model. So the use case is you've got your traditional file server with all of your NTFS ACLs. You map that with file server enablement, and then you enable the ACL mapping for that file server enablement share, and then all of your users that access that remotely all have the right permissions with all of the AD users and groups from the ACLs automatically being populated inside of Anchor. So the vision is there. That's the order in which we're tackling these three things, and once we get there, it's going to be an exceptionally unique product on the market. This combination of features in one platform.
Great. Here's another question from Tom. He's asking about the collaborative editing that we showed earlier. He asked, can a guest or a guest user interact with the collaborative editing, or is it only available to Anchor, deployed users?
Yeah, absolutely. We're still determining if it needs to be if it can be fully anonymous or if it's going to be registered guest users in the beginning. But guest users will be able to leverage the collaborative document editing and collaborate online with internal Anchor users with the same experience.
Great. One thing I briefly want to mention, because I know a lot of people have asked, we are recording the session today, and we'll be sending a recording to everyone who is attending. So, even if you have to step out for a minute or maybe leave a few minutes early, no worries, you'll get the recording. So, yeah. Let's see. So a lot of questions have come in about web editing, about web preview on on-premises deployments. Do you guys have any insight into when that might be enabled for people who are using Anchor as a private cloud?
Yeah, there's really two phases there. The first phase is your private cloud deployment being able to use our cloud rendering API securely. And so your on-premises deployment would talk to our rendering cloud to render the HTML5 version of your documents in a secure fashion. And that's fairly easy for us to turn on. The next step is deployment of the actual rendering engine to your private cloud deployment. It is fairly resource intensive in terms of CPU and RAM, just because it's fairly complex what it's doing. But that is desirable for some partners, especially larger private cloud deployments. And so concurrently with these other things that you're seeing, it's also part of our roadmap and sprints to get the deployment packaging of that done. So I don't know the details further on timing. Maybe Pierre, Matt, you can speak better to that. But that's what I know.
Yeah, I have no concerns there.
So if you're interested in that, please reach out to us. We'll put you on the beta list. We'll start interacting with you, and we can work with you early to make sure that we meet your requirements. So just please reach out to us. Again, khoffman@efolder.net, and we can get you connected with Pierre or Matt, Dugan at eFolder, or Pierre Tapia at eFolder.net.
Yeah, please.
Sure.
We welcome as much feedback as possible, even on what you've learned today or what you're already touching with the product right now. please forward any feedback directly to my inbox or communicate directly with your account manager, and they'll go ahead and pass the baton over to me. But I'm always open and welcome for one-on-one collaboration to learn of your needs, learn of any challenges that you may have that our solution, our tools can help resolve.
And we've also just recently launched the partner request. Yeah, the partner request feature request form, which is another way for you to get your message right in front of the product manager's review, on a very frequent basis. And so, that feature request form is also available to you as another way for you to give feedback to us. It gets put into the system automatically, our Jira product management dev tracking system automatically.
Yep, and we just want to emphasize that, we are very eager to hear all of your feedback. So if, you want to get on the beta testing list for feature, or you want to, do the feature request form, or even just simply call your account manager or email Matt or Pierre directly, you're more than willing to get your feedback and respond to it. So here's another question from Wells. He asks, with selective sync, can I exclude some file server folders from syncing up to the cloud when the parent folder is synced to the cloud?
Yeah, right now this feature selective sync is only about what comes down, not what goes up. So yeah, folder level exclusions for file server enablement would be a separate feature. Matt or Pierre,
Okay,
maybe you
great.
can speak if that's on if that's somewhere on the roadmap, or if that should be a feature request put on the feature request form.
Yeah, that should be a feature request put on the form. We have heard the request has come up. The priority is to release the download only exclusion.
Okay. Here's a question from Paula, who asks, will the price point for Anchor change or increase with these added features?
So, this is subject to change before launch, but our current thinking is that the SaaS edition of the product will be able to include all this for no extra charge. For private cloud, they're based on the price per user price point. It may or may not be able to be included. Especially at the higher volumes where the price point for Anchor software can be on the lower end. And so, we'll be, again, listening what should be done there, but, with Anchor SaaS, we're able to bundle this all in. And then on private cloud, if there will be an incremental cost, it will be quite reasonable and not expensive. But there may need to be a need there.
Great. Here's an interesting question from William. He asks, when these new features are released, do they require upgrades on the client end to access, or is it kind of an automated upgrade for computer users, whether they're on Windows or on Mac?
I mean, Anchor agents are normally quite good at updating themselves, unless you've turned that off. But normally, all of the agents will update themselves within a few minutes of a new release going out the door. And web features, of course, are always available anytime you log in. You're using the new version of the application. If you're using private cloud, you've got to update your private cloud backend, following the normal process to get the new web features, of course. But yeah, agent updating is normally automatic completely without user involvement.
Cool. We've got a few questions about, other upcoming features that we didn't mention today. One is about digital signing of documents. One partner feels that would strongly benefit them. Another one is about, let's see. So yeah, we've got a question about digital signing of documents, and we've got a question about local encryption.
Yep.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Pierre.
Those are two feature requests we've gotten before, and they're definitely on our radar. You know, as we increase the collaborative features that become available to our partners, we look to things like digital rights management or digital signing of documents, and those are features we're exploring, certainly. But they're things that they're further down on the roadmap. So feel free to reach out to us if you have specific interest in these. As Kevin mentioned, we're open to feedback, and we love looping partners in for beta so we can continue to cultivate that feedback as features get developed. But there are a lot of valuable use cases with local encryption and with digital signing of documents.
Yeah, so there's really three pieces to the pillar of the Anchor strategy. Anchor is, in our view, the future file system of business. It marries together local file systems with cloud access, web access, collaboration, mobile endpoints, arbitrary endpoints. And so, you know, that's one angle. Anchor is a file system. Another angle is Anchor is a collaborative platform, and you know, you see that we're innovating there in that direction of the product. And then another key area for us is Anchor as part of an integration ecosystem. So, for example, Office 365 and Office, you know, actual Office desktop app integration and other integrations, you know, could be based on demand integrations with document signing platforms with robust workflows. You know, we've looked at leveraging our own HTML5 document viewing platform for e-signing and other, you know, annotations and markup and etc., watermarking. And so I can tell you that we have highly innovative feature work going on that we haven't told you about behind the scenes for each of these three themes for Anchor. You know, we want to keep surprising you quarter over quarter with just outstanding game-changing features for Anchor. And so, you know, we don't want to sort of jump the gun and share specifics at this point yet, because we feel that they are game-changing. But you know, we hear you on local encryption. We hear you on your desire to have you know, even more business productivity workflows like document signing. So document signing specifically, we would like some input. You know, exactly how do you envision your users using this? You know, how would they actually use this? You know, how much do they need something basic versus something that you pay for, like EchoSign? You know, $10 to $20 a user per month. You know, those are the things that we're exploring right now with the document signing question.
Yeah, and Kevin, just to further speak to that, we already have our workflows fully designed on the e-signature through the Outlook plugin, through the web user interface, and even through the desktop client. So if you do have some feedback, we encourage you to email directly to us or contact your account manager. If you've got some workflow needs that you've got some problems that need satisfying through this electronic signature, then let us know ASAP, because we're about to begin that development.
Yeah, and I'm sure Matt could share with you under NDA what those workflows are and if they meet your needs. So we're trying to be collaborative as we work this out here. So.
And let's finish off with one final question. I know we're near the top of the hour, but a number of people have asked, you know, with all of these new features that are coming down the pipe for Anchor, how does Anchor compete with other file sync services available? And, you know, why is it really the best option for MSPs?
Yeah, there's really a couple points there. So if you just look at Anchor from a feature set perspective for end users, Anchor marries extremely robust file sync now with collaboration and security. So if you look at the market, you know, Box has really good collaboration features, but extremely weak synchronization capabilities. It's almost laughable. You know, the level of feature set they have on synchronization. They've just gone a different direction. You know, Dropbox is the other direction, so they've built a sync product that focused on the local file system and gone really deep there, mobile and, you know, sharing of photos and other media. That's been their target focus, and they've been adding, you know, more of the business security side. So if you know, Box has collaboration security and workflow. Dropbox has really good sync, and they're starting to add business workflow. And so what we feel like we have in Anchor right now today is we have exceptional file sync experience, a coming and strengthening collaboration experience, and an exceptional business security and control experience. And then it has a fourth thing that these other platforms don't have, which is Anchor's multi-tenancy and MSP-friendly management, alerting, PSA and RMM integration, all the things that make life easy for you as an MSP. And then the fifth thing is price point. Anchor's price points, you're able to make 50 to 70% margins, whereas Dropbox or Box, they're going to give you 20 or 25 points of margin. Their brand's going to be all over it, and the MSP RP is set. So Anchor, if you look at the competition for wholesale file sync offerings, we feel like Anchor is in a leading position. We have the #1 market share for MSPs by far with Anchor, and with our free NFR platform for MSPs, we want you to put it to the test yourself. Just go try it, use it in your business for free, and if it provides value and the client comes along with a need, then you'll know automatically you've got a good solution that you can recommend. So we want to prove it to you, not just don't believe it, but use it, find out for yourself. So again, appreciate
5 words. Oh, Kevin, just wanted to add 5 words in summary there. That's secure, multi-tenant, productivity, and profitability. That's what we're about.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we're at the top of the hour now, but thank you so much, everyone, for bringing such great questions and for taking the time to come to our webinar today. Kevin has expressed interest in doing more kind of face-to-face collaboration with all of our partners, so we're very eager to keep that going and look out for future events that will allow you to get up close and personal with eFolder staff and really help you get an insight into our company and what we're doing for our partners. But for now, thank you all for coming again. And this is Niraj Periwal signing off from San Francisco. Thank you very much, everyone, and hope you have a great rest of your day.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you, Kevin. Thanks, Pierre.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.